Hello everyone, welcome to Spicy Talk with Onwadia. I am your love doctor. Well, couples are always on the quest for what makes for a happy and successful marriage. I am not an expert in this field, but I can confidently tell you from my interaction and close observations with most couples and from my own personal experience, I can tell you that there are some principles, essential principles you can apply in your marriage that can make your marriage a successful and a happy one. I'll be sharing with you 10 good principles that they might not seem big to you, they might not seem a big deal, but these principles can go a long way into making sure you achieve a successful and a happy marriage. So stay with me. The first principle we will be looking at today is appreciation. When I say appreciation, I mean appreciating your spouse. Now, a lot of couples are found with a habit of not appreciating their spouse at all. Be you a man or a woman, we all crave for appreciation. When I say that, I mean saying little things like, thank you, well done, I appreciate you, you did great today. These things are very essential. They might seem small to you, but trust me, these things add up to spicing up your marriage. When your partner does something for you, buys you a gift, or even go all out there to do some little stuff for you, be nice enough, be kind enough to say thank you. And when you say thank you, mean the thank you from your heart. You can go a long way to even getting them a gift, just to show your appreciation. If you can't get a gift, say the appreciation in such a way that they will feel it in their heart and in their soul, that my spouse truly appreciates this. You don't know the sacrifice they must have made. They must have also gone out of their way into ensuring that they put a smile on your face. When you don't appreciate it, it looks, it lacks value. Now, the second thing we'll be looking at is asking your partner, how do you do? Showing concern. Even when you both live under the same roof, daily try, endeavor to ask your partner, sweetheart, how are you doing? My love, how do you do? Baby, are you okay? You connect with your partner. You care deeply about him or her. Because we get carried away in our daily activities, in our business lives, in our careers, in our pursuit for our, into fulfilling our dreams. But when you take out time to ask your spouse, how do you do? It shows you are not just engrossed into your own world. You are not forgetting them. You still think about them. You still worry if they are okay. It's connection. That's a connectivity. You are in tune with your spouse. When you ask your spouse, how do you do? You might be wondering, why should I ask my spouse? No, you should. Ask him. Trust me, when you begin to ask your partner, how do you do? I mean, sincerely, before bedtime, how was your day? How did today go? Most people come back home and then after dinner, boom, they go, to watch movies or listen to news. The next is bedtime. No time to discuss about the day's activities. No time to connect back. No time to, check up on one another. You have to do that in order to stay connected. You have to stay glued together after the external activities. Let your soul entwine. The third thing we'll be looking at on Spicy Talk with Onwadia is emphasis. Emphasize on the good side of your partner. This goes a long way into making them know you truly care about them. Emphasize on the good side. What is it that they are doing right? Those attributes that makes you, appreciate them. Something must have, gotten you connected to that person. Something got you attracted to that person from the beginning. What are those things? They are good qualities. You don't just see a man with a negative attitude or character and then you fall in love with him and you decide to marry him. Or you don't just see a woman with a shady attitude and you go for it. There must be that thing, something that got you connected to her or to him. What is that thing? Always emphasize. Is it the way he treats you? Is it the way he assists with the house chores? Is that the way he connects with you, he communicates with you? There must be something. The beauty, the food. If your woman is a great chef, if she's a good cook, do well to always appreciate her. Let her know you care so much about the way she prepares the food, the way she spices up the food in the kitchen and brings to you, and you relish it. These little things, emphasize on it. Sweetheart, I love your meal. I enjoy this meal today. When the man goes out there to work and sweat his ass out, sorry for my language, and comes back home to provide for you, appreciate him. Let him know you appreciate the fact that he's doing this for the family. Don't just say it is his responsibility or she's supposed to make the meal. Yes, we know, but emphasize on those good things. If you appreciate me today, trust me, tomorrow I'll do more. I'll do better. I want to be the best for you. So when you emphasize on my positive, on my good side, on my strength, I want to do more. I want to be a better person. So emphasize, always emphasize on the good side of your spouse. Part one is de-emphasizing on the weakness of your spouse. Now, in saying this, I am not saying you should overlook their weaknesses or you shouldn't talk about it or discuss it or not point it out. No. What I'm saying is don't emphasize on the bad side. De-emphasize, like try as much as possible to bring down, to overlook, like to minimize the way you talk about your spouse's weakness, because you are not perfect. We are human beings. We make mistakes. We are all struggling with one weakness or the other. So don't be quick to point out your spouse's error. Don't be quick to condemn. Don't be quick to judge. Even if you're going to point out your spouse's weakness, find the right time. This is wisdom. Wisdom is finding the right time and at the right place to point out your spouse's weakness. Don't be quick to just say it out in the public. No, you are going to hurt his feelings. You are going to hurt her feelings. You're going to bring down her self-esteem. You're going to bring down his morale. Do that before you go to bed if need be. Or before he leaves for work. Or before she leaves for work. Find the appropriate time to point out what you don't like. And try as much as possible to minimize the way you point out. You don't know what you're struggling with. You don't know if he's overlooking it, or you don't know if she's overlooking that. So why don't you just try as much as possible to build more on your spouse's good qualities, those things that make your spouse stand out, and then bring down. The more you bring it down, the less you notice all those things. But when you emphasize on them, they become magnanimous. They become a mountain. They become too big. And then it's always an issue. Minimize it. De-emphasize on your spouse's weakness. The fifth is find out the cause of underlying conflict. A problem known is already half solved. Find out what is that thing that is always making you nag. Find out what is that thing that gets on your nerves. Find out what is that thing that gets you pissed off. When you are able to narrow it down, you'll be able to find a solution to it. You'll be able to address it. You'll be able to communicate it properly to your spouse. Because when you leave things bottled up, trust me, it's going to weigh down on you. And before you know it, the walls of your marriage, the walls of trust will be broken down. When you find out what makes you angry, or what your spouse does that gets on your nerve, you will be able to resolve it amicably with him or her. You will be able to communicate it properly. It could be the sex life. The truth is, when you are not satisfied, for instance, and you keep it bottled up, your spouse may never know. It gets you angry whenever your spouse wants to touch you. It could be the finance. If you don't communicate it, the way your spouse spends money, or the way they are frivolous with things, or the way they throw away money, or the way they are too rigid with money, they may never know. It could be the underlying conflict you're having. It could be the reason why you're always having misunderstanding. And any other little thing that occurs, you flare up, you snap, because you have not addressed the root cause of the problem. For instance, personally, there's some things I don't like, and at first when we got married, I do kind of bottle up because I don't want to hurt my spouse. I don't want to hurt my husband by saying it. So I try to leave it in my mind. But I realize I'm also hurting myself. I am hurting myself by not communicating it with him. Anything at all, I am quick to let him know. And he's a good man. He is quick to make amends. So when you discover what makes you angry, what makes you have quarrels and misunderstanding all the time, you will be able to sort it out and resolve it amicably with your spouse. The sixth one is be honest with your feelings. Be honest with your feelings. Open up. What is it you're feeling? I already said it on number 5, but I'm emphasizing on it now. Be honest with your feelings. When you keep things bottled up in your heart, you will never find happiness in your marriage. You will never find peace, total peace in your marriage. You need to open your heart. Let your heart be clean. Let it be open. Let your spouse be able to read you, see through you. My husband is fond of reading me. So whenever my countenance changes, even when I said nothing, he will make sure to get it out of me. And I open up. I let him know. Okay, yeah, you got me. I'm not happy. And I will resolve it. But when you leave it in your mind, your partner, your spouse is not a witch. Sometimes they are occupied or preoccupied with a lot of activities. And they don't even notice that you are brooding. So open up, say it, communicate it for better understanding between you two. Now the 7th one is don't be too honest with your feelings too. Be honest with your feelings. Don't be too honest with your feelings. When I say that, I mean don't be rude. Don't be disrespectful in communicating your feelings with your partner. For instance, your spouse is adding weight. Rather than say, sweetheart, looks like you're adding a few pounds here and there, you say, you're growing fat. Hello, she's gonna hurt. He's gonna feel hurt. When you are being honest with your feelings, be diplomatic, be respectful. Consider your partner's feelings, your spouse's feeling. When you say it, yes, white is white, but you can say something is almost white. You don't just throw it out there because you want to just be open with your feelings. You have to apply diplomacy. Trust me, you have to apply diplomacy. When your spouse is snoring like a locomotive engine, don't just say, you snore like a pig. No. Sweetheart, your journey is very high. For those in Africa, you know what generator means. So you say, your generator sound is very high. Can you tone it down a bit? Or like, your music at night is very loud. Come on, you can make a joke out of it. But that way, you have communicated your feelings. You have opened up to your partner. So when you are going to open up, please apply diplomacy. Don't be rude. Don't be disrespectful in doing that. Moving on. The next one, which is number 8, is take care of yourselves. When my shoulder is not strong enough, how do I give a shoulder to my spouse to lean on? I have to be strong. I have to be healthy. I have to be emotionally stable in order to take care of my spouse. Wonder why on the airplane they say fasten your belt first, and in case of emergency, get your oxygen mask on first before assisting. It is because in times of crisis, you have to be on your feet to be able to give support to your spouse. So you have to do well to take care of yourself and care for your spouse's emotional needs too. Apart from emotional needs, there are several needs we all have. Your spouses have his need, you have your need. Care for each other. You can do a little thing, do one or two little things to help each other. These little things put smiles on your spouse's face, and it goes a long way into ensuring you have that blissful, happy marriage you are craving for. Moving on, apologize and make amends. When you hurt your spouse, don't sweep it under the rug. A lot of us are fond of hurting and sweeping it. Then, to your place. You will hear, rather than say, I am sorry I hurt your feelings, rather than say, I am sorry baby, you say, are you still brooding? Don't tell me you're still getting hurt over that issue. Why are you carrying your face like that? Don't tell me you're still like this, don't tell me you're still like that. Why don't you just go ahead and say, I am sorry? And then make amends. And women too. Don't just assume, well, he's a man. No, he's hurting. He's got feelings. When you offend, please do well to apologize and make amends. Not just apologizing, but make sure, try as much as possible not to make it a habit of always repeating the same thing. It makes one begin to nag. This is why they say a lot of women nag. No, some things can make people nag. I'm not saying you should nag, but I'm saying if you don't want your spouse to nag all the time, please watch those things you're doing. When you apologize, do well to also make amends. Don't just say, well, he'll get over it, she'll get over it. No, they don't get over it. It sits in here. And then the walls of your marriage begins to crack. You want a happy home? You want a successful marriage? Please, always apologize when you hurt your spouse's feelings. It keeps the heart clean. Apologize, make amends, and also forgive. Forgive. When they apologize, do well to forgive. Don't let it sit there. Accept the apology. Forgive, let it go. Clean it off completely. Don't dwell on it. Make room for adjustment. Adjust your lifestyle. Adjust yourself. You have to be ready. You have to be ready to make some sacrifices. You have to be ready to let go of some things. If you don't make room for adjustment, trust me, there'll be friction. You are no longer single. You are married. You're living with another grown human who also have his or her own needs. You have to make room. Somebody must take responsibility of the kids at home. Someone must run the home front. Someone must be, at least to a certain percentage, responsible for the finances in the house. Someone must take charge every now and then on different levels. You have to be ready to take up your own responsibility and adjust for your spouse. You don't just leave the load, the burden on one person. It's all about understanding. Pick yours. Let your spouse pick theirs. Don't sit there and occupy everywhere. Adjust. Make some form of adjustment for better and easy operation in your marriage. And with that, I'll be rounding up for today until I come your way again. But for now, I want to make you understand that marriage is an agreement between two grown adults, not babies, not children. It takes two adults to make this work. And for this to work, there must be understanding. There must be tolerance. You must be ready to adjust. You must forgive. All these laid down principles I'm pointing out now, you must apply them for your marriage to be successful. Not just successful, but romantic and a happy one. So for now, I am Onwadia, the Love Doctor.